Hey my village, this is your coach Mo tuning in for my weekly live. It's Tuesday, you guys know what it is. Sorry I'm coming on 30 minutes later than normal, but my battery was super low. So I finally got it to about 50%. So hopefully we get through this live without any interruptions, and hopefully the poor signal in this new place don't disturb us. Thanks for tuning in, Tiffany. Hey. Congrats on the new baby. Next time I'm gonna hit you up when I go to California. I just came back yesterday. But hey Natalie. Hey Amy. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Make sure you like and share the video. Hey coach. So you guys, as you can see in the title, the topic is co-parenting. And that's what we're gonna talk about. Y'all know that's my niche. Hey Tonika. So just in case some of you are new and just now tuning in to me for the first time, I am Monique. I go by Coach Mo. I am a parenting and business coach. I help parents co-parent with success to be able to coexist in their child's life, as well as I help entrepreneurs identify their ideal client to be able to create content, products, and services to gain income in their business. So now that we got that out of the way, love you too. My son always do this. He waits till I go live to come in here and talk to me. Close the refrigerator. But often I get parents that I talk to and they always tell me like, oh, I don't have the option to co-parent. And that's not necessarily true. Some people don't co-parent because they just don't want to co-parent and they're selfish. That's just the reality of it. They'll be like, oh, I can't co-parent with the other parent, but like, have you ever tried? Have you ever asked them? Have you ever talked to them about it? And I remind them that it takes a village to raise a child. You don't have to do it on your own unless you just choose to and you just don't want, you want to have the burden of raising a kid by themselves. Hey, Erin. That's the only way I see people just not having that option, unless the other parent is passed away, but there's still other options. Co-parenting is not just with the biological parent. And that's what people get confused about. You can co-parent with another parent, bonus parent, grandparents, aunts and uncles, because it takes a village, biological parents, foster parents, adoptive parents, and your family. That's why we have extended family. We have the other family. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hey. So co-parenting don't have to only be with just the other person. Some people be like, well, I don't like the mom or I don't like this person, but you need help. So it's like you have to just co-parent and suck it up. You want a break. I'm going to share with you guys some benefits of co-parenting, because a lot of people are like, they have it a little confused. They're like, co-parenting, I'm going to have to deal with this person. I'm going to have to compromise. A lot of people don't like to compromise. A lot of people just want to make all decisions on their own without running decisions by another person. They don't want to communicate and they're taking it personally. And I always tell people, it's not about you, it's about the child. So co-parenting has nothing to do with you. It's the health, the psychology like of your child. Your child psychologically is affected when they don't get to see the other parent or the other family, and for that matter. Aunties and uncles, everyone needs to be involved and be able to have that time with the family. Like me, I don't really consider myself a single parent because I share my son with his godmother. I share my son with my cousins, with my sister, my brothers, aunts, uncles, whoever needs to take them. They're like, I want to take him for about a week or so. Okay. So we'll arrange that. I co-parent with his dad, of course. I co-parent with the bonus parents, because you guys know my son dad has 4 kids, 4 moms, 4 different states. We all co-parent together. As you guys, I mentioned in the beginning of summer, up until about last week, I had 3. It was 3 of the kids here for the summer. So he had them Monday through Thursday. I had them Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because I didn't feel like it's fair to just take my son home and leave his 2 daughters with him to be with him every day. So they love coming with me. So we tried that out for this year and it worked. It was cool. It was hard for them to learn how to coexist together. But even my mom, I brought them to my mom's house. Whenever my son come visit my mom, she take them in as her grandkids, her bonus grandbabies. But that's how it worked. People need their break. And that's part of one of the benefits of co-parenting. One is you get a break from parenting. Who don't want a break? I don't think there's anyone that would say they don't want a break. Me, I enjoy those 4 days to myself, to be selfish. I don't have to share my food. I can go take a shower or use the bathroom uninterrupted. I can go to sleep whenever I want and don't have to worry about responsibilities for 4 days. It's getting ready to switch back to 3 now that school's starting, but that me time, and I chose my self-care day as one of the days he go with his dad on purpose because I get to be lazy, do whatever I want, and don't have to worry about a kid waking me up at the crack of dawn asking for stuff 24/7. I can go shopping without shopping for my son. I can go buy stuff for me and don't have to hear, well, you never buy me nothing. Can I get something? And ask for everything in the store. Also, your child get the best of both worlds. They get to be with both parents or family. So they need that. They need that bonding time with other people. But you do have to be on the same page as far as like discipline, stuff like that. We do have that discussion. Like, okay, they know I don't physically abuse. That's what I call it, abuse my child. So they know, just talk to them or let me know what happened. Keep me in the loop. Because I do update them with their child, they update me with my child, and we have a discussion. Y'all can whip your kids, but don't whip mine. I teach them other ways of discipline and educate them on getting rid of that slave mentality of abusing your kids, trying to instill fear in the wrong way. But it do take communication, and it do take everyone being on the same page, especially if you have like a younger child. When like my kid was going through potty training, some people don't be on the same page with you when you're trying to teach your kid how to potty train, but only send them with people that's going to actually be in agreement with your child potty training. Like when my son was going to daycare, I feel like I'm co-parenting with the daycare person. So that was like his grandmother. He used to call her grandma. So she would be in accordance with me, like, okay, this is when I last gave him something to drink, put him on the potty, make sure you don't put him on any Pampers or pull-ups because we're trying to potty train. They worked with me. So that's how it got to be when you have younger kids and they're going with family members and stuff. If they're not in agreement, then you probably can't really co-parent with them because it'll be too much of a change for your child, and you don't want to have to reprogram your kid after they come from someone's house. So you do have to make sure you're working with the right people and positive people around your kid. Also, your child won't be a statistic. You won't be a statistic. No one really chooses to be a single parent. Sometimes it just happened. Like me, it just happened. Me and my son dad were never in a relationship. We were childhood best friends, and we had a baby together. We weren't looking to get in a relationship. I still don't want to be in a relationship. Making sure everyone is on the same page when it comes to raising a kid. Yeah, speaking all facts. Thanks. But yeah, also, you can focus on self-care because a lot of times, I know you guys heard me talk about my program. Some of you are new, but in the beginning of the year, I always run my I Am My Sister's Keeper program. So that program is for those moms who are lost in the title of being a mom or a wife, girlfriend, whatever. And they forget who they are because they put so much into their family, their kids, everybody else but their self. So when you're co-parenting, you get chance to focus on self-care. You get to be selfish. You get to do your hobbies and reestablish who you are and focus on you. It is hard in the beginning because you do worry about your kid when they're with someone else. I know I used to. I've been co-parenting full-time about a little over a year because I was co-parenting from 3,000 miles away at first. I used to send my kid a whole month to Florida or a couple of weeks to Mississippi, wherever his dad was stationed. Hey, excuse me, thanks for tuning in. So wherever his dad was stationed, because he was in the military, I would send my kid. So of course I'm worrying, having my kid fly by himself as an unaccompanied minor to a whole nother state. And the last time we did it, it was in 2017 in December. He wanted to go for the whole month of December. That was like his Christmas gift. He spent Christmas for the first time with his dad. And so I sent him in the beginning of the month and I got him back in the beginning of January. I didn't know his dad's address. I didn't know his living girlfriend. I didn't even know her name. I didn't know where they live. I just knew what the nearest airport was. People thought I was crazy because a lot of people have family members that will talk them out of doing it. If I would have listened to family, my son probably wouldn't have seen his dad. And that was after him not seeing his dad for 3.5 years. So he would talk to him on the phone all the time, but he just didn't get to see him in person because of the distance. But sometimes you have to eliminate listening to the outside people that don't support you co-parenting because of whatever limiting beliefs they have. Also, you don't need validation from anyone to do parenting the way you want to do it, because sometimes doing it different than the people that's talking to you is what make the kid turn out better. Because sometimes those people are part of the problem of the generational curse, and you or someone else need to be the one breaking that generational curse. Was there a problem when you did it allowed no one to whip your child? No, because he only went to those people that was in support of being able to compromise and follow rules. We always come to a common ground, because me and his dad parent differently. He's for whooping the kids. I'm not. I'm more of the compromise, see what's wrong, because I guess it's because my psychology background, and he's military. He's really strict. It's my way or the highway type of parent. And me, I'm like, there's a reason this person is acting up. Let's see what's really going on. That's how I think. You needed to hear that. Oh, thank you. So like me, I think on a kids don't act out for no reason type of mindset. And he's like, well, he act out so he get punished. But sometimes you're whooping them and you still don't know the cause of why they were acting that way. Kids don't act out for no reason. They usually want attention. Like I told you guys before, they want attention. They're either hungry or they're tired. Usually it's those three things. And then if they need attention, you need to find out why they need attention. I know my son used to act out whenever he didn't see his dad, and he just didn't know how to explain and express that he misses dad. Or when he felt some kind of way, like, oh, my dad is going to my sister's birthday party, but he didn't come to mine. Like, you have to have a conversation with them. Me, I'm the type of person, I'll sit you down, have a conversation, see what's really going on. But now his dad is conformed to that. He compromises with me when it comes to that. I'll say, unless he did something completely disrespectful and wrong, then you might be able to hit him with a belt or something. But it have to be something over the top. Like, if he's stealing or something and get arrested, even though he's only 10 years old, like, then there's some harsher punishment. But as I grew up, we used to have to do 50 push-ups, 50 sit-ups. Kids don't like to exercise. They're lazy. Take away all their electronics. My son act like he can't live without his tablet and his iPad and his iPhone and stuff like that. All you gotta do is take something simple away, and he's like, he'll crack. But now his dad make him read books. You have to read like 10 pages, recite it. I'll make him journal his feelings, things like that. Because I don't want my kid being one of them kids blowing up schools because they're angry, because they don't like being at home or don't like being around me, stuff like that. That's not the type of parenting I want to do. And also another benefit, you can have a parenting plan. Like some of you know, I have parenting contracts where you have everything thought out on paper. You can sign a contract. Who's going to get the kid what holiday, what days, what times, who's allowed to come to school events. Can you bring your girlfriend? Who's allowed? Is the baby going to be sleeping in the bed with you and your girlfriend, or are they going to have their own place to sleep? I thought about everything in this co-parenting contract. Holidays, birthdays, are we doing them together? Are we doing them separate? Spring break, summer, what breaks are you going to have the kid? Who's financially responsible for what bills and what household? How, like me, I never gotten child support. I never had financial help with my son. But I'm like, if you have them 4 days, you're responsible for whatever expenses occur in those 4 days. And whatever I have for my 3 days, I take care of. As long as you're doing what you have to do, I do what I have to do. When he's with you and he run out of clothes, go buy him some clothes. You see he needs some clothes, just go ahead and get it. I shouldn't have to tell you. But that's the way I operate. But it took a lot of communication to get to that point. It took us healing In order to co-parent, you must heal. You cannot be a bitter baby mama trying to co-parent. No, you have to get over not having that relationship, not being with that person, not getting your way all the time, because a lot of people are selfishly think about them first and never think about the kid, and they have to understand it's not about them. You're doing it for the sake of your kid, so they won't need a therapist due to your poor parenting decision. And that's when I eliminate courts making decisions for my families, because the court is not fair. Especially most states, they always give custody to the mom, even though the mom might be the most toxic person for the child to be with, because they're bitter, they're resentful, they hate the kid because they resent the kid because they look just like the other parent, or they don't get what they want, so they feel angry and towards the kid, and they feel like they gave their whole life up because they had a baby. So sometimes it is better for the kid to be with the dad, but because the justice system is injustice towards men, I always support, like, more men reach out to me than women, because they know they don't have a chance when it comes to the justice system. So they build a co-parenting contract, get it notarized. It is a legal binding contract, and they go from there. If all else fails and nothing goes right and it gets shot to hell and the co-parenting situation is too toxic, then they will have to get courts involved and have jurisdictions and a judge be able to tell them what they can and cannot do with their own child. Even though the judge is not paying any support, they're not taking care of the kid, they're not raising them, but they can tell them what to do with their child. Who wants to go through that? Who want to drag their kids through court because they couldn't get it together and be adults? Nobody. So I always help both parents be able to figure it out, communicate, and tell what they expect out of the situation. A lot of people don't tell the other parent what their expectations of, and then they get mad because the person didn't meet their expectations that they imaginary fantasy, like in the other person's head, was holding them accountable for. So it don't make sense, but people do it all the time. I see it all the time. They're like, well, they didn't do this, they didn't do that. They didn't do it according to the way you want it. So a lot of people hold that against other people, and I don't agree with it. But it is important to co-parent no matter what, and it's always good to just put your feelings aside. I always support either one family night a month, so that the kids can see you coexist. That's very important as well. They don't want to have to live two separate lives and not have a life together with their parents. So they can have a separate life with the dad, separate life with the mom, but they do need some time with both parents as well, and other siblings, because it can be other bonus kids. A lot of people do have more than one father or mom. For some cases, they're same-sex relationships. I have clients like that too. But they do need to see the adults coexist, and it needs to be genuine, because kids feed off your energy, and they know when you're faking it. They know when you're lying. They call you out real quick. So I have 8 tips for you guys today. If I forgot to say, bring pen and paper. Oh my gosh. But you would spell out the word co-parent down the left side of the page, and the first letter for C is going to be communication. So everybody have to communicate and be on the same page in order for co-parenting to be successful. And you have to know each person's form of communication. This is very important. When I go through my co-parenting program with parents, I have them figure out how they can communicate. I know me and my son dad cannot text message. We cannot email, because they always get misinterpreted, or they feel like you have an attitude, but they're reading it like that because that's their negative mindset and how they reflect and feel about you when they're reading that text message. Or they can be just in a bad mood. So we only can talk in person or by phone, so that you can hear my voice, my tone of voice, and know if I'm calm or have an attitude or not. So you have to figure out how you can communicate with that person without it being misinterpreted or taken to a whole nother level. The letter O would be overlook each other's flaws. This is hard for some people because they like to solve the blame and not the problem. With me, I try to solve the problem, not the blame. We know who did what. We know it didn't work. Now what? Get over it. So that's my main thing when I talk to parents and helping them co-parent. Like, quit bringing up the old stuff. Get over it. They don't want you. That's it. Move on. It's not about you. It's about the kid. So they have to overlook the other person's flaw and not be so judgmental, because that's another thing. People always judge you for your parenting and all this stuff, but it's like, who said you are the good parent? You could be the toxic one, but you're judging and criticizing the next person for what they're doing. So overlook the flaws, and it's not about you, it's about the kid. This is when each person have to do their individual healing. That's why I say you do need to heal and forgive before you can co-parent, because you don't want to be talking mess about the other parent in front of the kids. Kids take that to heart, and they will tell the other parent sometimes, and they'll be like, Mom hate my dad, or my grandmother, they're always talking mess about my dad, and they'll start thinking that the father is really this type of person, but they're not. And then later on in life they realize, oh, that was just my mom being bitter all these years, putting that bitterness in me about my dad. When I actually get to know my dad, he's really not a bad person. So that's why you have to heal. And we ain't trying to solve the blame, we trying to solve the problem. Also, leave the rest for a therapist. So if you can't get over and overlook someone's flaws, you need a therapist, because therapy focuses on the blame. And if you just can't get over what they did to you, you need to go to a therapist. A coach cannot help you with that. They shouldn't help you. Even though I went to school for psychology, went to grad school for research psychology, I do not dig in the past, because I do not like people getting stuck worrying about the blame and stuff they can't change. I push them from here going forward so that they can have a better life going forward, in a better future. For the letter P, patience. It is going to take a lot of patience. So it will get worse before it get better, and especially in the healing process. Especially when the kids are gone and you want to check on them 20 times and the other parent is not answering the phone, or you texting like, send me a picture, I want to know what my kid is doing. Eventually you will stop doing all those calls, because I know I used to do that, like, send me a picture so I can know what he's doing. Or call my son on his cell phone. Now my son, dad, he will take the cell phone. So my son don't have a cell phone when he's with his dad. His dad take the cell phone, so I'm forced to call him. So I just don't bother calling. I was like, okay, he's in good hands. He's good. If my son needs something, he will contact me. But it will take a lot of patience, and it's a process. So it's going to take baby steps for some. Some people, you do have to crawl before you walk. Some people are not ready. Maybe you can start with 1 day a week, and then maybe you can do like a weekend or every other weekend. Some people can do every weekend. Like me, I do 3 days a week, 4 days a week, every week. We don't do the every other weekend. We did that years ago when we first tried co-parenting, when we were living in the same state. So we did every other weekend, but now we do every week. For the letter A, this is what I go through, my 4 steps in forgiveness. So A is going to be 4 words: awareness, acknowledge, acceptance, action. Those are the 4 steps of forgiveness that I take my clients through. You're aware of what the problem is. You acknowledge your wrongdoing. You go through the forgiveness part. And you accept things for what it is. Like, you're not going to be together. You have to co-parent. Parenting is forever. And then action. Now we can co-parent. Let's see what we can do now here going forward. So those are the 4 steps of forgiveness: awareness, acknowledge, acceptance, action. Now for the letter R is relationships. So the kids have to have real relationships with each other and all involved in the party. So you can't, like, some people coach their kids on what to say to people, or don't listen to this person, and especially when there's like girlfriends or boyfriends involved, like, oh, they can't tell me. Don't listen to them if they tell you what to do. But they need to learn to respect all adults in the party and other bonus kids. So like, the kids have to coexist with each other. They have to have real, genuine relationships built with each person that's going to be involved. If that can't happen, it's not going to work. So they can't pick and choose who to have a relationship with. The next one is the letter E. Establish a plan. So that's for E. Establish a plan. You have to be clear on boundaries. Set boundaries for everyone, and everyone have to be in agreement on the boundaries. Me, nobody can cut my son hair but me or his dad. Nobody else can make that decision. Stuff like that, like clothes, I don't care for. I don't do skinny jeans for my son, but his dad don't either. Coloring kids' hair, braiding hair. Like if I'm willing to braid my bonus daughter hair, I would first ask her mom, because I know like that's not my child to make that decision on what to do with their hair. Places you take the kids. Sometimes you cannot go out of town with my child without me knowing. Stuff like that. You have to set clear boundaries so that they know what they can and cannot do. Before I even discipline any kids, I let their parents know first, and then we agree upon what discipline that person should have. I'm not going to just react and whoop somebody's kid. So for the letter N, never badmouth the other parent in front of the child. It's probably the poor service I have here. But never use a child as a go-between for the two parents. That's not okay. Hopefully the service is still a little better. But the last one is T. Take a deep breath and control your emotions. You will have times where you're just like, your emotions is all over the place. You have an anxiety, you're worrying about your kid. It's a process and it's not going to be easy. So that was the last one. Hopefully you guys got those, and we spelled out the word co-parent, and those were the 8 tips, and we talked about boundaries, benefits of co-parenting, and who you can co-parent with, and that it takes a village to raise a child. But I thank you guys for tuning in. Next time I'll probably do it in a better. That's why I've been doing lives in my car, because the service suck here. But next time the video is going to be about 9 tips to take back control of your household once you've lost it. So we're going to deal with the kids that are out of control and the parents needing to get back into control. So 9 tips to gain control back once your child is taken over is going to be the next video. It's probably going to be later this week. It just depends on how hot it is. I might do it tomorrow. But thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you like and share the video, and I will see you guys later this week. Have a nice night.